Welcome back to Glowing Agelessly. I'm Gloria, your host, and today I have with me my beautiful sis, Stephanie. Now, I've known Stephanie for a few years now. We don't know each other personally, but we do talk online and offline. And I feel like if we are friends, like we are truly like sis, even though we've never met. And I'm pretty sure that when we do meet in person, it's going to be like, okay, we've known each other forever and have always been engaging with each other in person. I just feel like that's the kind of connection that we have. So I'm going to let Stephanie introduce herself to you and tell you guys a little bit about herself.
Hi, everyone. First, Gloria, thanks so much for having me. I've been watching you for a while. I am amazed at your exercise routine, your sense of style, but more your ability to connect creatives and just really woman empowering women. And so I love that about you. So thank you first for letting me be on your show. A little bit about me. I'm 60. I'll be 61 in a few months. I am married, have been married. This is my second marriage. So we have a blended family. I always say we have a successful blended family, one biological child with my previous marriage, and I have two by marriage that are like I gave birth to them. They've been in my life since they were 6 and 8. I am on this content creation journey. It started merely by accident. One of my son's friends said, "You should blog." And, I was just entertaining because I love to entertain. I love when folks are happy, eating, drinking, dancing, playing cards, or whatever, just having a good time. And so, in all transparency, I didn't know what blog was. And so when she left that night, I Googled it and I thought, I would love to do that. A lot of people find it surprising, but I am an introvert. I'm just a friendly introvert. And so, I'm able to overcome being an extreme introvert because of my love for people. So I garden. I have a little pampered pooch who I hope behaves well doing this show. But I love to dig in the dirt. Of course, I love fashion. I love cooking. I live in North Carolina, but I'm from Louisiana. And so I took a lot of that upbringing and I brought it here, like the gumbo, the etouffees, and just the love for people. So enough about me.
No, never enough about you. Definitely more. I feel like I just learned a few more things about you too. In terms of your personal life. Obviously,
Mhm.
you've been married twice. The fact that you
Mhm.
have a blended family. I didn't even get to find that out about you in our conversation. So this is also a learning situation for me.
Awesome.
And as older content creators and I guess without in the I guess the atmosphere where most people are younger, like we're in an environment. Social media is, I feel maybe 80% younger, like between 35 and younger, I feel. And we as older content creators, think that we have different challenges.
Mhm.
So I want you to tell me, like, what are some of the challenges that you faced? But I also want you to tell me what are some of the, like, we've had good and we've had bad. There's
Mhm.
good and bad in everything. But for us, we are probably going to see different things that are negatives for us and different things that are positive versus someone who's younger. So tell me some of the pros and the cons for you.
So I guess I'll start. I like to always end on a good note. So I guess I'll start with the cons. For me, some of the challenges have been technology. I know a little bit about technology, probably quite a bit for a woman of my age, because many of us, like we've had some previous conversations, you said started with a phone at 2. And so it's very easy for them. It's effortless. They know how to do all these TikToks and join this together. I can do it, but the learning curve is a little bit steeper. And so I may only be able to post 3 posts a week, where someone who was a younger content creator may be able to do it every day because it's effortless. They push a few buttons and voila, it's magic. Some of the pros, I think we have so much to offer. We have lived through so many various experiences, like being married twice. a younger creator, it may put them down for a little bit. And so we have our experience to offer to say, okay, so you lived through that. How can we just move on? How can we accept that and invite the next chapter of your life? And so we not only bring our sense of style, we also bring our income. We can afford to buy a lot of this ready to wear, these things that are here. And I think the market sometimes forgets that, our society. They market to the younger, creator, and oftentimes the younger creator, just their income is not there, and that's not a bad thing. They're in college, or they're recently out of college, and they don't have the income to support. And so I think that's where a lot of the mental health challenges come in, because they feel like they have to do it. With me, I can buy a Chanel or I can buy Zara and feel just as great in either one. And so I think you need both. I think you need the younger creators, because I'm not one that says, oh, we can do it better. There are some things they do better than us. There are some things they look amazing that I don't want to do or I can't do. But there's some strengths that I have to offer, heartbreaks, losing your job. How did you recover from your divorce when you split two incomes? Those are the things that we bring to the table, not just our sense of style, how to decorate, and all of those things that excite us, but real life experiences, how to not get caught in the clique, how to not get caught in negativity and how that comes back to you, because that's how the universe responds, how to be with those like-minded people. So there are some cons, but there are so many more pros that we have to offer that I think sometimes society forgets about. And yeah, that's pretty much my take on aging and being of relevance.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure people who are watching are still like baffled at you being 60
Oh,
because first of all, we think about most of us. I think when I was younger, I saw 60 as being very old. I am now
so did
52.
I.
I saw 52 as being very old.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
there was a point when I thought 40 was old. So I
Right.
think as we age, our thought process is still almost the same.
Mhm.
We just gain more wisdom.
Mhm.
So our experiences obviously makes us more wise. We're a little bit more slow to be active or create an action. So we often sit on things and think about them a little bit more. We're not so quick to shoot the gun, for
Mhm.
lack of a better word. So I think that other than that, we are still the same. We still feel the same. I think mean our bodies aren't necessarily,
Yes.
but are in our heads or who we are, who is innate to us. We still feel the same. So I don't see myself as someone who's over 50. I see myself ageless.
Mhm.
And
Love it.
yes, I don't put an age to myself. So I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes, and I'm just touching on the topic about creating as a younger or older person. So the younger creative, I feel, are able to wear anything and
Mhm.
not be judged by it.
Mm. Ah,
But
love it.
I also noticed that society will judge you regardless of your age. Depending on what you look like, they will also judge you.
Absolutely.
But yes, I get this often where outside of creating on social media and having my audience appreciate what I'm wearing, I then have family and friends who don't understand or recognize what I'm doing. And then not only do they not recognize, okay, I feel like I am empowering, like you said.
Mhm.
I get
Mhm.
DMs and messages all the time about people who see me as an example and see you, Stephanie. I'm
Mm.
sure you get those too, because I see you as such a huge, like, Stephanie's goals. So we empower and encourage each other. We see each other as a positive force, right? And
Right.
then there's the people who are in our life that are friends. They're closer to us. They're not just someone that see us post up and random captions. These people know us, so they have a different perspective of who we are. And I've had this. I mean, you may not have had this before, but I feel like most people look at me and say, "Okay, you do not look 50. You probably could be in your 30s." So I'll wear something, and then I'll get feedback like, "Don't you think you're too old to wear that?" So
Ah.
like, why do people get this feeling that as you get to a certain age, you have to stop going to a certain part of the store shopping, or you should stick to this particular type of dress or top, or you know,
Yeah. I
where did
often get, what does your husband think about you being that age and wearing your midriff, wearing your stomach out? And I thought, well, since he's taking my pictures, I'm guessing he feels okay about it. And my husband is younger than I am by only 3 years, but he it's not an issue for him.
right,
I do get that. I'm surprised you still wear that at your age. And I do agree with you about it's not just over 50 women, because in my 40s, I look 20. I feel like when you pass the 50 mark, that's the real judge. Because in your 40s, you can still kind of hold it together. In your 40s, you can still have babies. Some people do in their 50s. But I think once you start passing that 50 mark, when the elasticity and the skin goes, people have this perception that you just shouldn't wear certain things. And
mhm,
I'm really glad that I've never been judgmental and I've never felt that way. And sometimes I use it to educate.
right,
Sometimes I use it to pull out questions and kind of see where they're coming from and why they believe that. And some people say it because they've heard it said and they don't even know why they believe it. So it's an opportunity to educate when people feel that way because if I were even 20 or 30 pounds heavier and I wanted to wear my stomach out, I would. I think you are not your clothes, you're not your hair, you are what you feel inside. And if you feel like you want a mini skirt at 60, 70, I love to see creatives older than I am who are embracing their true self and wearing their natural hair and a swimsuit. That's what we need to focus on more and just be more accepted. And I do find that European cultures are more accepting of different body types than Americans. We can tend to be a little bit judgmental here in the United States.
yes, I absolutely agree with you. We are in a society of wanting things to be perfect,
Yes.
or appearances matter more than
Mhm,
anything else. So
mhm,
how you feel in that item should matter. But what happens is we are now thinking about what someone else is going to feel when we
mhm,
put that item on.
mhm,
Now, granted, sometimes we could tweak a little thing here and there depending
mhm,
on what it is. If you feel like, okay, I know that I've gone through phases where I look back at some things that I may have worn even
mhm.
a year ago or a year,
Absolutely.
2 years ago, and I say, you know what, I may need to tone it down a bit.
Mhm,
But this is only what I feel. This
mhm,
has nothing to do with what someone else is feeling. It's me
mhm,
now feeling like, okay, it's what perception do I want to give someone when I'm wearing that item? And I realize that we think so much about what people
Ah,
think
too
and
much.
feel about us that
Mhm,
we would like literally restrict ourselves just so that that
mhm,
other person or other people
mhm,
feel
mhm.
comfortable, because it's not us feeling uncomfortable, they are.
Right, right,
So
right. Ah, I
we
love
need
it. Yeah.
we need to have society we need to have more conversations where people are allowed to talk about what really makes you
Mhm.
believe that it is wrong for someone to wear this because they're older.
Absolutely.
And I'm only going to be talking about older because this is the
This
forum.
right, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
what makes you feel like because she is 70 that she cannot wear a swimsuit?
Mhm,
We are blessed to get to a certain age, whether we have wrinkles, whether our skin size,
mhm.
whatever it is. If you feel like you are comfortable, so I'm going to go to the beach and I'm going to cover my entire body up as hot as hell outside.
Right,
I am
right.
going to cover myself up because I don't
No,
want to see my wrinkles.
right.
I'm sorry, or my skin, skin, whatever it is. So no, we are here to show that. I mean, and granted that we are looking fabulous for our ages, but for me, I really would like to encourage people to just wear what you want, wear what
Yeah,
makes you feel comfortable, as long as you're not dressing in a disrespectful manner.
absolutely.
Wear what makes you feel comfortable. So I don't like the term dress appropriately for your age. I think you should just dress appropriately. There is a lot we need to talk about. Just dress
Right,
appropriately, and there should never be an but take age out of it, please. Thank you very much.
right, right,
And we have that to we can identify with it now because we are older. When we were
mhm,
younger, we didn't understand what other people may have been going through. I'm pretty
right.
sure your mom may have experienced that. In your mom or your aunties or whatever, they might have experienced that. All right, so let's move away a little bit from just our physical or way we appear or dressing. There's for me, I know that women we try to not talk. Well, lately we've been talking about it, but a lot of women have been shy about talking about getting older, the changes our bodies go through from menopause to the mental effects of like even how the hormones affect our mental state,
Mhm.
our physical state, just even our life with the people closest to us, because our hormones are changing in
Mhm.
a way that these different things can be affected. So you gain weight,
Mhm.
suddenly you're getting hot flashes. For some people, some people don't. Thank thank God for those people who don't get that.
Yeah,
You're
I never got hot flashes.
right.
I have never,
I've heard
not
people say they
one.
never had, and honestly, I don't know that I have. I do feel though that I feel like maybe I have had some. Maybe
Same,
mine's probably
same.
aren't extreme, is
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Because some people
Right,
they start to sweat and I'm
right.
like, I might feel hot, but I don't think that like I perspire to that point where it's obvious something this is not normal. Or why is she sweating like that? And not so that's why I don't know for a fact that I do, but I do
Same.
know that how I eat and my diet has a lot to do with how I feel. So like recently I stopped drinking coffee and I've reduced
Ah,
how much wine and how much alcohol that
mhm.
I'm using. And I realized that like 1 or 2 times a day I used to feel hot. Not
Hmm,
like that anymore. So
mhm.
my diet is helping. But there are other things. So I'm starting to gain weight.
Same.
Whereas
Mhm.
eating normal, I can't eat normal anymore. I know how
Right,
to change the
right.
way the things that I eat because I'm suddenly gaining weight, especially in my midsection.
Yeah.
I'm getting some extra booty, so I'm like, I keep I am gaining weight. It's something I've never had an issue. Like I'd always be like the same size. I'm 5'7".
Mhm.
I've what am I saying? I'm 5'8". Maybe I'm shrinking. I'm 5'8", 145 pounds. I used to be like 140. And now and I was recently close to 150. I don't watch the scale, but the minute I started to realize my body was shifting, I wanted to see what weight it was at. So I gained some weight. The weight looks good on me in some ways, and then other quick ways I'm like, "Ah, you got
Same,
when
same.
I move and I'm jiggling, I'm like, okay, I never saw that jiggle before. This is jiggling, and I'm someone who is very like active. I work out practically almost every day, and I eat very well. So when you realize you're doing all the things that you used to do that were considered good to
Right.
keep your body at a certain, to look a certain way, it's like why is my body literally like going against me? So disrespectful right now. It's just doing
Mhm.
whatever it wants. And those are some of the things that we older women have to like prepare others for and discuss about it with
Mhm.
each other too, because some people don't even know why their body's doing the things they're doing because they're not educated about it. So because I get into these conversations quite a bit and I work with brands that help to educate, it has
Mhm.
caused me to understand what I
Mhm.
am experiencing. So I'm so happy to talk about it as much as possible so that people are more comfortable with it, because like just like life,
Right.
you're born as a child, you become a teenager, you go through puberty. Life is about changes, and this is fine. It's okay. It's not supposed to be something to be considered a like a dark hole in our lives. It's just another part of our life that is also a challenge. Puberty was a challenge. So this too is another challenge. And
Mhm.
why not talk about it? Why not educate each other and those who are probably going to be blessed enough to experience it? Why not educate each other and educate the people around us as well about it? Because trust me, Sir J, he he has met me at the best time and sometimes the worst time because he gets it. He like my I'm not as patient anymore at
I
all.
I think it's important to remember too that we are so different, as I mentioned. So I grew up in Louisiana. Uh, Being thin wasn't particularly attractive. In fact, my parrain, which is my godfather, I was so thin when I was growing up. I
Mhm.
didn't find that particularly attractive. And still, like you mentioned, there are some things, some areas I like the weight, but in my face, because I'm older, when I lose weight, it's not really attractive because it makes you look gaunt. And so depending on where you are culturally or what area of the world you live in, like in Louisiana, it was not considered attractive to be thin. And so I remember spending all of this time with weight gain, trying to gain weight. And I remember when I had my son is 38. I remember I was a size 10 for the first time. And those of you on this channel, since we're talking about aging, maybe remember Montgomery Ward. So I remember I had had my baby, this beautiful little brown boy, and I'm sitting there with this catalog ordering these corduroy pants because for the first time I could showcase my little hips and curves. And I remember talking to my sister. My sister is 2 years older than I am. And she said, "You know, you're not going to keep that weight on you." I was so upset with her, and I'm like, yes, I am. Gloria, within 2 weeks, my stomach had shrank up and I was thinner than I was before I had him. And so there's the other side to that too. Others assume that you want to be model thin. That was never my aspiration to be model thin. I always thought I looked better with a few pounds on me. And so even still to this day, that I'm eating healthier because of health benefits, because to go to the doctor to say, you know, your A1C is creeping up. And I'm like, what is A1C? Because like you, I don't own a scale. I never looked at a scale. Only when I go for my physical checkups do I find out what I weigh. And I think this is the heaviest I've been in my life. But again, I don't frown on it. I'm changing my diet to be healthier and to age well, but not because I'm thin or big or ascribe to this society standard of you should be a size 4.
Yeah.
A lot of people are surprised that I'm a 10 and they're like, you are not a 10. And I'm like, yeah, you just wear the clothes that, you know, work with your body type. So excellent point about weight gain and changes, and the goal should be to do it because you like the way you look, not because someone says or society thinks you should be a size 4. Because a size 4 on me, I look like, oh, I need to eat. So that wouldn't work for me.
I used to be a size 4. I couldn't believe it. I remember when I would wear a smaller extra small, and now
Same.
I'm wearing medium, and I'm very happy to be in a medium. I don't have a problem with it at
Yeah.
all. And I do agree that we don't want to look too thin because I do show it in my face.
Same.
And
Hmm.
this is why I'm actually holding on to some of the things that I was
Right.
would keep me at my size, but not necessarily increase weight in my
Right.
stomach, which is the only place that I don't want it to be, which is so stubborn to remove anyway.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I've recently learned that we should increase our protein, and I'm like, I never
Oh,
would have thought
wow.
that was what it was. So I've increased my protein. I've always drank protein shakes almost every
Hmm. Hmm.
morning, but now I'm doubling up the amount of protein shakes I'll have. So instead of maybe 1.5 scoop, I'm doing 2.5 scoops. So I'm taking more protein. I've reduced
Okay.
my carbs, and I feel like it's already changing. Coffee
Mhm.
was making me bloated.
Mm.
That's one of the main reasons why I stopped coffee, but it's only in, I kind of like hit me recently that I've reduced my sugar intake by not drinking wine and alcohol too often. So when I
Mhm.
go out now, I'll have a mocktail or something. So, or even have a glass of water, and you might think I'm drinking something fancy by just dropping a piece of a slice
Right.
or something. But my point is, I'm staying away from those things that are definitely going to cause me to increase more
Mhm.
in my midsection and not support my muscle. So
Right.
I'm trying to keep the muscle and lose the fat. So it's been working slowly but surely. It's just a process. Eat
Mhm.
our diet is really what will make the difference for us.
Right.
Outside of
Right.
just staying active, and I actually would advise anyone just to add more protein if you are someone that realizes your weight is changing and you're in our
Mhm.
age group. Add more protein. So you should always have at least twice the protein that you're having in carbs.
Oh, that's good advice. And
It,
exercise. I'm terrible at exercising. I garden, and a lot of people think, oh, you're just kind of walking around. No, it's very intense work. 50-pound
yes.
bag of soil, shovel trenching. But I've noticed that I need a more regimented exercise. Like you said, that midsection that I've never had that I have now. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to remove that with gardening. And I want to look well. I want that area to be snatched, not because of any magazine, just because it looks better in my clothes and it's better for my heart. It's more fit. So I recognize now at 60, almost 61, that I need to incorporate some exercises. And also the laxity of the skin. My arms, I've never not had firm arms. Now I notice at my age, I'm going to have to add some weights and to keep my arms toned. And I just like the way my arms look when they're toned. I love to see a 50-plus woman who looks like she takes the best care of herself.
Oh,
And that doesn't mean she's a size 2 or size 6. It just looks like you said, I'm decreasing my sugar. I'm not drinking as much wine. I'm drinking more water.
yes.
That's what radiates, other than your personality, that radiates it. This is somebody who loves their body, and I'm hoping that's what I radiate as well,
Oh, yeah.
because when you love yourself, it shows.
Yes. Yes. You're so right. I weights increase your weights.
Mm,
You don't have to do a bunch of like
mhm,
you don't need to become a gym head. You don't have to become
mhm,
a muscle head. Sorry.
mhm.
You just need to, because our muscles, the protein is one of the main reasons why we start to lose muscle.
Right.
That's why I
Mhm,
said add more protein. Doesn't matter
mhm.
where you get that protein from. If you're using plant-based protein, you probably need to use a little bit more than if you're
Yeah.
using like
Mhm.
animal. So what I'm saying is that just increase your protein and do lift some weights. Do something. Do some bicep curls and some tricep dips or something so that
Mhm.
you can keep that upper body strength, not just strength, but then you start to see the toning, and then
Right.
your muscles support your bones. So that's why too, when we get older, it's easier for us to like maybe break something or
Right.
injure something because we don't have the
Mhm.
muscle that's protecting those bones as well. So it's not just about the looks.
Right.
The aesthetics are beautiful, but we
Mhm.
also want to be able to do all of the things
Right. Mhm.
physically as well. And increasing the muscle, the weights will increase your muscle gain and help you to stay more firm and solid. So if despite the skin losing its elasticity, it will help because we're toning, which will
Mhm.
also show on your skin. So you gotta trick the body.
Yes, yes, and you look fabulous, by the way. You look defying the age for sure.
We are both defying the age because when people say that, when I learned you were turning 60, I said, what? I knew you were over 50, just didn't realize that you were now heading to over 60. So that
Yeah.
was mind boggling to me. I feel like we have so many different things that can help us. This generation, this Gen Z, we are different because we have we have the best of both worlds, I would say. Because we have technology that we are aware of and
Right.
we can use, but we have the experiences of growing up, seeing how things for me weren't like glamorous. I didn't have the easiest of life. So I feel like I wasn't privileged, but
Mhm.
now I'm at an age and at a point in my life now where that I can afford certain things and I can buy things that can help
Right.
me to look better. So I don't have a problem aging and I don't have a problem with seeing wrinkles and all that. But
Right.
why not try to make myself look and feel better? Like
Absolutely.
that. We all have been doing it all our lives. If
Mhm.
someone who's younger buy a cream because they feel like it's going to help the puff under their eyes, no one will look at that 21-year-old or 30-year-old and say, "Oh, you're just trying to be younger." No, they're just trying to look better. So when
Right.
we want to look better, they think we want to get it. No, I'm fine where I am. I do
Same.
not wish to go backwards. I
Right.
so do not want to go back to when I was 40. No, I like my aging
Yeah.
process. I just like I really want to continue to look great as I age because I feel like it could be achieved. Absolutely could be achieved. But this was such a good conversation. I thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
For,
Thank you for having me.
yes, it was good. I feel like there's this is our time. I feel like this is
Yeah.
no longer like, oh, you suddenly stop living life. I think this is the best times of our life.
I
We,
absolutely agree.
you are showing it. I think I'm showing it, and so many others
Mhm.
are. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next episode of Glowing Agelessly. Once again, I'm Gloria, your host. Again, thanks, Stephanie, and we will see you
Thank you.
guys very, very soon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.